It's time for another musical interlude. Let's get started. Talking with people with music in their genes, their blood, and in their soul. You are watching Musical Interlude. Hello and welcome to another episode of Musical Interlude. I am your host, Casey Bell, and calling in from Italy, we have Souvlaki. Let's get this show started. My first question, when did you first realize you enjoyed creating music?
Um, I think I started playing, or at least trying to play music when I was a child. So my mother tried to force me to start playing some instruments. But I don't know why. Maybe because when I was really young, I was really shy. I I just went to a couple of times, and then I think is was at the beginning of the high school when when a friend of mine, started to play guitar, and at that point, if you are involved in the right situation, everyone wants to create a band, and so I think I've mainly started uh, just to spending time with my friends, and then later with the passing of time, I've also realized that for me was very important to express myself by music, basically.
And when did you choose to do this full time as a career, to actually go ahead and make albums and things of that nature?
Okay. Um, so I I've always find very interesting the all the recording techniques. So when I was 18 or 19 years old, um, I've recorded at home the first demo of my first band with a very funny name because uh, the band name was Alcoholized Little Cherry. But and and so uh, after uh, after that, I spent several years, like at least 3 or 4 years, uh, continuously changing bands and do a lot of rehearsal, but without concluding nothing. And so the very first experience at the recording studio was with my previous band with respect of Souvlaki, which was called Elite Zero, and we recorded an EP of 5 songs, and uh, and I think was at was at that time when I went for the first time in a professional recording studio when I understand that uh, I I love playing and I also love recording in order to provide something well recorded, well arranged mm, to the people basically. And but also with the passing of time, I also understand that probably I'm not in the right situation to really try to exploit music career. So for me now, it's I mean not an hobby. I would like to see it as my second or third job because here in Italy the music business it's quite hard and and there is not really um, uh, the concept of to be an independent artist as a secondary job, like I don't know, self stuff during the road. And so yeah.
So, in your time in the business, was there anything you learned about the music business that kind of surprised you?
um I'm not very surprised. I mean, I always try to be completely defeated already. I mean, to be defeated before start. So for me, everything that comes from the music business for me is is an achievement. So I, I mean, I, and and you know what? I think that for the type of music genre that I like to play, um, it's not as the time now the good genre to try to be in the music business. So as I said it before, uh, I'm almost looking at the writing and the uh, publishing of the song, but for me, uh, it's not my main job. So I'm not really into the music business, and in in some way, I'm also quite uh, happy. I mean, I see some friends of mine, which in the past or currently they are always struggling to be in the music business, but they won't accept. I think. Uh, the rule for the music business in some sense. For me, since I'm out of the music business, I don't have to follow any any business rules about the length of my songs, how many songs there are in an album, if it is a good thing to release an album of on or so on. So for me, it's all a matter of writing songs, and when I have a bunch of them which are good, went in the studio and record them.
Good. So, talk about your latest EP, Continued Survival. What was inspiration behind this EP?
Good questions. I mean, I've started uh, this EP. So the first song was uh, Isolation, and in the past, Isolation was called Bear, because for me, um, there was something in the song quite intimate with respect uh, of the other songs from the first EP, and I've written all the song, I think, in 6 months, more or less. Uh, so uh, I I would say that is a very intimate EP from my perspective. I mean, uh, the idea behind this EP was simply try to make something better than the previous EP, and to keep trying exploring music genres. I mean, I was quite scared about to maybe find out that my new EP is was um, is a first version of the previous EP. So for me, this is the main reason that drove me around during the uh, during the writing sessions. And it's it's very instrumental, and except for several lines, which have some drum and bass and let's say hip hop uh, mood. The other songs are quite, I think, dark, but uh, but there is also in every song uh, like an intimate. They are very personal for me, and this uh, how can I say, stopped me for several months before went in the studio, because I was scared that since the song was very personal, maybe the people could not understand them, or maybe I was overrating them. So my girlfriend helped me a lot, because I was complaining basically every day, like, okay, no, the song are not right, too much intimate. There aren't choruses or maybe strong instrumental part, like the song in the other EP, for example, and part two, which was very hard. Uh, so it was quite difficult. I mean, the uh, the process of accepting the song. I mean, the writing was quite um, straightforward, but the accepting from my side was very hard. So, and this is why the EP is called Continued Survival, because it's the survival of the music project, because for me, and not more for me, but for Souvlaki, let's say, it wasn't so not so easy to accept this new EP.
Okay, so as a musician, are you um, taking advantage of this break every artist is getting with the shutdown of theaters and art centers, or are you ready to get back on stage and start performing again?
Okay, for me, I would I would playing like tonight, but since the pandemic here in Italy, and also basically in the most country along the world, is not over, I think I'm quite negative. So I'm looking for 2022 to hopefully have the opportunity to get back on stage. So I I had the I had the chance in the last months to perform some virtual gigs, but you know, I mean, I don't know if you're a musician, but if you're a musician and you have experienced virtual concert, it's not the best way to have a gig, because you are alone in a room looking at your webcam, and try to uh, to to let the feelings pass through um, the webcam, then the internet, and then hopefully someone on the other side will get involved. But I think it's quite difficult. So uh, I think it's only just a matter of waiting. Yeah, yeah,
All right.
and yeah, and this is for me is for me and for the other guys which play with me live. Uh, it, it's quite annoying because even if the songs are, let's say, we can say electronic music, um, we we always tried to have a very, very strong live performance. So we have visual effects which are produced producing real time by Luca, uh, which is a VJ and video maker. And then there is Deborah, which sometimes featurings, for example, isolation, or in the past, might be. And we try, we put more vocal lines on the song. We added guitars, so it's uh, it's a live show, and so for us, the live are very, very important. But you know, the pandemic cannot be stopped by it easily, so we have to wait.
Okay. My last question I have for you, if you
Mhm.
could meet any musician or producer or anyone in the music business, and they could be dead or alive,
Okay.
who would it be and why would you like to meet this individual?
Ooh. This is an hard question, and uh, I mm, I think in the last two or three interviews I get the same question, and I always try to give a different um, reply because the list is so long. I don't know. I would say in Italy, for me, Alessandro Cortini, which is a former bender, a former member of the Nine Inch Nails, uh, is uh, is very inspiring from the, I mean, from the perspective of sound design. So I really love how um, he's able to shape the sounds. So it's very, there is a lot of soundscapes and a lot of very interesting way to introduce a drum machine without using them. Uh, then probably um, I was very, very interested to meet Tool because I really love them, and I really love how they are able to build a very, very long song with a lot of time signature changes. Then maybe Jimi Hendrix, because Jimi Hendrix is Jimi Hendrix, and for me, because I started to play the playing guitar in rock band, and then in the end I switched to piano and synthesizer. But roots are very strong, so maybe Jimi Hendrix would say quite interesting. And in the end, since I love also hip hop music, and the best hip hop music in the world mostly comes from the US. I would say Kanye West, even if he had very strange political feelings and
Mhm.
very weird ideas sometimes. But I think from the music production perspective, I think it's very, very smart, and mm, he was able to change a bit the music business. And that, okay. And maybe if we go very, very back in time, I would say, I don't know, Mozart.
Considering passing time,
for taking the time to watch another episode of Musical Interlude. I'd like to thank our guest, Souvlaki, and to the audience, thank you for taking the time to invest in Musical Interlude. Have yourself a wonderful day.